Hi, loves. We will move through a tune in and warm up in tabletop today. So take a moment to gather whatever props you need, rolled up blankets, pillows, anything else for a comfortable balasana, child's pose, and we'll start there. So I like a little cushion or a rolled up blanket between heels and glutes, or you can bring some blocks under the hips to support the hips, or maybe you like to come over onto a bolster if you have a bolster. As you start to settle into this nice, easy, restful balasana, beginning to notice the spaces where you're connected to your props or connected to your mat or the floor, feeling those downward or earthward connections, maybe tops of the feet, shins, parts of the arms or hands or head. And then begin to notice your breath. And with a few easy breaths, could you soften and release a little more fully into those spaces that are connected? So nice easy inhales, exhales, imagining a little more softness. Nice easy inhales, exhales, a little more letting go. And then beginning to expand into your breath, inviting that air a little more deeply into the lungs, feeling the belly reach out for the thighs or the floor, or feeling ribs expand out to the sides. Full inhales, slow exhales. Letting go of breath control, allowing the body to settle back to a breath that feels easy. Activate the hands. Reach or walk or slide your hands toward the top of your mat, really stretching as far as you can. And then drawing those arms back in just a little to create space to walk your hands over toward the right side of your mat. Find a little more stretch in left side body. Lift that left arm, bring it across the right wrist. Find a couple breaths melting down toward the right side. Lifting up just a little to create space for movement. Begin to walk your way back through center. When you get to center, again, really actively walking, sliding, reaching those fingertips toward the top of the mat. Draw them back in just a little to begin to walk over to the left. Find a stretch on the right side, cross the wrist, melt toward the left leg. Slow walking hands back through center. Once again, actively walking, sliding fingertips away. And then sliding the hands back in just a little, activating the palms, activating the finger pads, lifting your way up toward tabletop. If you were using props in a child's pose, we'll go ahead and set those props aside. Allow the hands to connect right under the shoulders and the knees to connect right under the hips. The fingertips to be nice and wide with some weight in your finger pads as well as your palms. Activate both shoulders, so trying to be nice and firm in the shoulders, but also keep the spine settled right between the shoulder blades. Gently drawing the navel in and up so we're firm in the belly. And then imagine that the neck is right in line with the rest of the spine. So the crown of the head is reaching directly forward, gently lengthening away from the tailbone. And getting ready to move into some flexion, extension, or cat-cow. So a big inhale to prepare, and then as we exhale, we gently lift the navel toward the spine, lengthen the tailbone toward the heels, let the gaze come down toward the floor. Inhale, begin to lift the tailbone, lower the belly, open the heart forward between the shoulders, lift the gaze. This time as you exhale up into your cat stretch, maybe you'd like to tuck the toes, press into the toes as well as the finger pads, stretch. And then as you lower the belly, open the heart tops of the feet, find the floor. Tuning in with the rhythm of your breath. Option to close the eyes if you like. And after your next time, lowering the belly, opening the heart, flowing back to tabletop, finding that firmness in the fingers, shoulders, core, neutral spine. And then a big inhale to prepare. We'll exhale into a side bend, lateral flexion. So my navel stays in the center of my mat. I exhale, head, hips, foot out to the right. I glance back at my foot. I inhale, bring everything back through center. Exhale, side bend left. Tuning into the rhythm of my breath. Inhaling neutral, exhaling lateral flexion. Flowing once or twice more. After your last side bend to the left, back through neutral. Preparing to move into twist, spinal rotation. So without shifting my torso or shoulders, bringing as much weight as I can to my left hand. Waiting for an inhale, I'm going to turn my heart open to the right, float my right hand overhead, gaze follows the fingers. Exhale, I'm going to turn my heart back down toward the floor, briefly reach that hand under opposite armpit. Inhale, twisting up and open to the right. Exhaling, turning the heart down, thread the needle. Finding one more big inhale to twist yourself open, and then an exhale to bring your right hand back to the mat. Bring all your weight to your right hand, lift your left hand, make a tight fist, make a couple wrist circles each direction, release that fist, give that hand a little shake, and then gently turn that hand so the back of the hand is resting on the mat, fingertips pointed toward your knee, and then if it feels good, gently press that hand down toward the mat. Bringing yourself back to tabletop. Without shifting the shoulders, as much weight as we can comes to the right arm. Waiting for a big inhale, twisting open to the left. Exhaling, thread the needle. Finding one more inhale to expand upward. Use your exhale to settle that left hand back to the mat. All the weight comes to the left. We'll pick up the right, make a tight fist, few wrist circles each direction, release, give it a little shake. Turn so the back of the hand is resting on the mat, and if it feels okay, gently press that hand down into the mat. Release. Finding your way back to tabletop. Now noticing the position of the hips, we'll try to keep the hips level as we flow toward spinal balance. So we'll reach the left leg back behind us, lift the knee, and then try to lift that leg parallel to the floor, but see if you can level the hips. Press through the heel, pull through the toe, and then really activate your left shoulder. See if you can find a long neutral spine and belly gently drawing in and up. And then send your right arm out long. Rotate the pinky to face the floor. If you slumped into that left shoulder, activate it again. If you lost it in the core, drawing in and up. Find another breath here. And then with your next exhale, slow float that hand and knee back down onto the mat. Find a little organic movement as feels good before we get ready for that second side. Noticing where hips are in space. We're going to try to level the pelvis as we send the right leg back. Leg lifts. We try to lower that glute level with the left. Press the heel away. Pull the toe in. Activate the right shoulder. Left arm joins. Pinky faces the floor. Find your breath as you imagine that length. Big inhale. Exhale to float the hand and knee back to the mat. Find some juicy movement in your tabletop. Settling back to stillness, we'll step down onto the forearms, allowing the elbows to connect right under the shoulders and the palms to gently rest together. Find a big inhale here, and as you exhale, imagine you're going to send your hips back to your heels like you're reaching for that child's pose, but your elbows are stuck. Inhaling back through where we started. Exhale, coming a little further forward. Shoulders come forward of wrists. Hips rock forward and down. Gaze comes in front of the fingers. Inhale, lifting through where we started. Exhale, drawing back. Find the rhythm of your breath a few more times. Inhaling to lift. Exhaling to lower. Inhaling to lift. Exhaling to draw back. The next time you start to draw back, release the arms to slide along with you. Come all the way back to where we started, child's pose. Taking a moment to pause here in child's pose. And getting ready to move toward the next part of your practice. Maybe you lift back up to tabletop. Maybe you move to standing. Maybe you step the hands out a little forward of the shoulder, tuck the toes, lift up to your downward facing dog, or maybe you slide yourself back toward kneeling, move around into seat, making your way toward whatever posture will take you into the next part of your practice. Thanks, loves. Namaste.